And we're live. Welcome back, everybody. This is another episode of the STD podcast. I'm Joe, as always, your excellent host. We're joined today by Mr. Scott Schiaffo from Clerks fame. How are you today, sir?
Doing good, man. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. Like I was telling you, a little, normal temperature day. Done with the election like everybody else. I mean, just called the damn thing already. It's normal Friday out here in Cleveland. So I was researching you before I talked to you, and I say you were born in how do you pronounce it? Passaic, New Jersey?
No, Passaic.
Passaic, New Jersey. Okay.
Passaic, New Jersey, yeah.
Like in 1963. How was growing up in New Jersey? It seems like you've spent most of your life in New Jersey.
Well, that's true. I've been a northern New Jersey guy my whole life. I love the East Coast, and I love New Jersey and New York. I like the fact that where I am, I'm about 15 minutes outside of New York City. So I get the best of both worlds. I could hit the city, or I could get back off into the suburbs in New Jersey. So to me, it's like the best of both.
That's awesome. I was just going to ask you about that. Growing up so close to New York City, was that fun being in high school like that? When you were in high school in New Jersey, was being so close to New York, did that just change your high school experience a lot?
Well, in high school, I don't think my crowd didn't have the wherewithal to be hitting the city in high school, but certainly shortly after high school and into college, that's where all the, a lot of the great concerts were all in New York City, and the theater and movies were being shot there. So it was exciting to be able to get over there easily, but I didn't do a lot of that in high school. That didn't start until a little bit after high school, really.
Okay. I was actually going to ask you what was after high school. Well, I had to touch on do you remember the movie The Warriors with?
Oh yeah.
No,
Warriors come out and play.
No, that came out when you were in high school. I imagine. Was that a big thing back then?
I'm trying to remember what year that might have been. I was in high school because I'm old, man. I was in high school from 78 to 81, 77 to 81. Okay. I graduated high school in 81. I think Warriors came out. I might have been still in grammar school or just in high school.
It's 1979.
79. Okay.
All right, yeah. So I was like a freshman, sophomore.
Okay. Was New York City really that as bad as they say it was back then in the 70s and 80s?
Oh man, yeah, very bad. I mean, when I was really young, like 5, 6 years old, 7, 8 years old, my mom would take me to. We would take the bus in to Port Authority, and we would walk around the basic Times Square, which back then really was seedy and dangerous. There was it was mostly porn theaters, but they had a lot of really cool novelty shops and great record stores and really cool magic shops. But as far as dangerous, it was it stayed that way right up until almost, say, the early 90s. By the early to mid 90s, it began cleaning up. Now it's a whole other thing. But the Lower East Side and the Village, I spent a lot of time in college in my 20s and 30s. And that still was very dangerous, but a good dangerous. There was a lot of rock and roll, a lot of drugs, a lot of that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so speaking of rock and roll, my name is Pat, by the way, so I'm running late.
Pat just joined us with Pat. Oh, I'm Joe. Obviously, you know Joe, but that's Pat. He's we're half the radio cast here. One of the guys is still he has hit a baby, so he's out there doing his thing. But
all right, nice to meet you. But speaking of rock and roll, were you into, because the late 70s, early 80s, that was a pretty good vibe, music vibe back then. Were you into that at all, CBGB and all that?
I actually tuned into punk a little after it happened, because at the time punk was really happening. I was still into mostly guitar bands, but like the 60s bands, Beatles, Stones, Zeppelin, Who.
Okay, nothing wrong with that.
That stuff took me all through the 70s. And then by late 78, Eddie Van Halen hit the scene, and that changed everything.
Yeah, oh yeah. God bless.
I play, and I play guitar. I've been a musician longer than I've actually been an actor. I've been a musician since I'm a child, but But I mean, I there's not much music that got past me. I love the punk scene. I wasn't able to be a part of it when it was really happening in New York. I was still kind of young. Um, I would have been underage when it was really happening in
Right.
CB. But I ended up getting to know the people in CB's pretty well years later. The Hilly Crystal and Genya Raven.
Mhm.
I spent a lot of time there, and then a few bands I had played there, but long after the punk thing was over.
Now,
Okay.
were you too late for Studio 54? Or were you? Do you remember any of that, or was that too before your time?
Yeah, again, I remember it, but I was not of age, or did I run with the kind of crowd that really would have been able to probably even get in there at the time.
Now, you said you were in what kind of bands? You said you were in a couple of bands. What kind of bands were you in? What kind of music?
I was really just one main band for a lot of years in my 20s, and we were trying to kind of come from a place of, if you were to mix REM, U2, and The Cure together,
Okay.
that's where we were at. But this was already mid to late 80s. I still loved hard rock. I loved the Beatles and Stones. But when I got together with the guys, that was the music that was really kind of galvanizing us. And, this was before REM. This before they, the major label REM. I'm talking just the first few years of REM.
Like the indie vibe, the indie vibe.
Right. When they were just on IRS, and of course U2 and The Cure and that kind of stuff. But a handful of years later, I worked with my lady friend, who we are together to this day. She's Carrie Werner, but her music name is Jewel Carey, and we did a record together in the late 90s. It was released 2000, so that's a while ago, but it's a straight ahead rock and roll record. It's easy to find out there. Jewel Carey, little did I think, I've got links on my Facebook page and website.
Okay. Did you ever have long hair? How was the longest your hair was back in the 80s?
It wasn't. This is now it's crazy. This is the longest my hair's ever been, and I'm in my mid 50s.
Oh wow.
Quarantine.
Yeah. So when let me see here. So after you got out of high school, where'd you end up going to college?
I didn't go to college right away. I kind of lumped around a little bit because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, and I had gotten the acting bug at the end of high school. And then when we graduated senior year, back then cable access television was a big thing. And every municipality had their own local access network. So there was a cable access network in my area that went to all the surrounding towns, and it broadcast out of the city hall. And I met the guy who ran all the shows, and he liked my guitar playing, and he asked me to come on and do some classical guitar, and I did, and it went well. And then he said, would you like to come back to do a regular segment? And I said yes. And then when I came back, instead of coming back with some nice classical guitar segment, I came back with a sketch comedy group, which at first he didn't like, but then when he saw what we were doing, we got a lot of attention. Actually, we got a lot of press, and it was, it was very cleaned up because it was local cable. It wasn't, we were like the not ready for primetime players, but for cable TV.
Right.
Nice.
That happened for like the first couple of years out of high school. Then I went to Bergen Community College to get a associate's degree in theater and music. And then after I got the associate's degree in theater and music, what I loved about college was it was a great excuse to stay out of the real world for a while. So I went to a 4-year college to get my BA. And at that time, that's when all of the music really started happening. I started playing out in clubs a lot and doing a lot of community theater. But I was really doing music a lot more than I was doing the acting in those. In my early to mid 20s was mostly about music, not acting.
Okay. Not bad.
So when did you decide to get into? Well, you obviously did the acting right after high school, but At what point did you? Were you just kind of? What was your career track at that point? Pretty much. Were you thinking about being an actor? Were you thinking about doing music? Did you really didn't know? Do you still not know what happened there?
Yeah, well, what it was it's a pretty strange story. I have a long history with alcohol and drugs. I'm pretty cleaned up now. I don't drink. I haven't drank in like 14 years. But I had a really long run of alcohol and drug abuse that was pretty bad. So by my late 20s, my later 20s, the drinking and the drug abuse was getting really bad. And the band I was with, it just wasn't working anymore. They couldn't rely on me. And it was heartbreaking to me because I loved playing with these guys. But I knew they were right because I really was a mess. So I drank my way out of the band and I tried to clean up a little bit. And I thought to myself, you know, I'm not going to get in another band because with the drinking and the drugging, I'm just going to drag down another bunch of guys. But with the acting thing, if I could keep my shit together long enough to go to the audition, do well at the audition, get a gig where I'm only needed a handful of days on the set, I could pull all that off, keep the drinking and drugging at bay, and not let down another band of guys. That was my way of thinking. It was a little weird, but it ended up working out great because shortly after that, I found the Clerks audition, and after that, I just stuck with it, and I continued doing character acting all throughout the 90s.
Okay. Was this the first audition? Like, how many did you try out for? Was this the first one?
The Clerks.
No,
Clerks. I'm sorry, for Clerks.
Yeah, no, Clerks wasn't the first audition I ever went to. Clerks was not even the first film audition I ever went to.
Oh, okay.
But I had, you know, back then, it's not like it is now, obviously. There was no internet, there were no cell phones. I mean, and there was, now you throw a rock and you hit somebody shooting a movie on their iPhone. Back then, it wasn't that way. So when I saw the ad, you know, the ad for a film being made in New Jersey, that was rare then. You know, you used to have to go into New York City. Every now and then you'd go to Boston. Sometimes it would be even in Philly, but there wasn't a lot of filmmaking in Jersey per se. So when I saw Kevin's ad, I knew I had to get to that audition. So I was very fortunate to see the ad because I lived very far away from those guys. They were all down southern New Jersey by the shore. Like I said, I'm way up north.
Yeah, I was looking up where it was. The movie was filmed in Leonardo, New Jersey, and that's at least an hour or so, half away. So, how did you get down there? Did you just drive? Did you take the train? How did you get down to Leonardo?
Yeah, no, I drove, and back in those days, I was always very early for everything. I'm still that way, kind of like an OCD thing. I like being early. So I got there early, and it's a shore town, but it was closed because it was already off season. And I wandered out on a jetty, and I was rehearsing. And I started getting into my thing. From the shore, it must have looked like there was a lunatic out on the jetty who was either drunk or maybe possibly suicidal. They didn't know. So they called me in, and I thought I was going to have a lot of trouble. I thought they were going to arrest me. I said, no, I'm going right up the block to an audition. And they knew there was a theater right up the block. And then when they saw me, they realized I was okay. I wasn't out of my mind. But I almost missed the audition as a result of that.
Oh, no. Did you, now, the role you got, was that the only role you auditioned for, or did you audition for multiple roles for that movie, Clerks?
No, well, what they did was when you first went in, you weren't auditioning for any particular role. You were just auditioning. You did a prepared monologue. You came in with your own monologue.
Okay.
You didn't read from the script from that first audition.
Oh, wow.
And if they liked you and they called you back, then you read from the script.
Okay. Oh, nice. Oh, so you got to do some improv. Wow, that's...
So when you go down there,
it's got to be nerve-wracking, though.
How long were you... when did you figure out what role you were going to get? Like, what was the deal with, you know, how'd you end up getting the Chewlies Gum role?
Well, we did our auditions, And like it always happens with me, I always think on the auditions, I think I did great. I end up never hearing from them. And then on the auditions, I feel like I didn't do too well. I get a call. So luckily, I got a call from Kevin and his people that said, "Come on back down. We want you to read from the script." And when you showed up, they gave you the role he had in mind for you. And he handed me the Chewlies Gum Guy scenes, and he said, take a look at this and come back in and read it. And we did, and it went really well. And the rest, as they say, is kind of history. But that's how that went.
Now, how long were you down there for? It was just a day thing, or how long did you were you down in Leonardo for?
Well, for the first audition, it wasn't very long. I got there early, but they had you sign in, and he had you fill out a really cool questionnaire about your what kind of movies you like and directors you like, which was very cool. And then as they went through, you went up, you did your piece, they videotaped you, and you were out of there. So I don't think I was actually at that first audition for maybe an hour tops. And then the second time, it was about an hour or two, because he said, he talked with us a little more, explained a little bit about what was in the script, even though I never got the entire script. The only time I saw the whole movie for the first time was when he sent us all a finished copy of the whole movie. So all I ever knew were the Chewlies Gum Guy scenes. I never knew what came before or after. So when I first got to see the whole movie, it was exciting because it was really the entire movie for the first time.
Oh wow! How long were you on the set for filming that Chewlies scene? How long did it take?
Chewlies Guy was just one day, and he shot it a bunch of different times, and then there was a day or two of rehearsals because he didn't have a lot of time to stick around and keep reshooting because he didn't have a lot of film. It was very expensive to film back then. So he couldn't take a bunch of takes like now with digital. You could take a zillion takes. It cost you pennies. Wasn't that way back then with film. So, he shot that scene 2 or 3 times from beginning to end. And then I was out of there. And so it wasn't, what's wonderful is because the film has hit such a large audience over all these years.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Big impact. But when you think about it, was only a handful of hours at the time, 2 or 3 days, a handful of hours, and then I would talk to Kevin on the phone all throughout that first year before the film was released, which was fun. But
okay, now was there any backstory to the Chewlies, or did you just make up that name right off the bat? Because I know I show you the painting I had my friend Desiree paint. It's just you can see that there. Yeah, I just love the Chewlies Gum thing right there. Was there any backstory? Was there, or just a random name they came up with?
Well, that's all him. I mean, Kevin did all the writing, lock, stock, and barrel, and that's just a takeoff on Wrigley's, really.
Okay.
Because you can't use any copywritten names or any real brand names in your film, because then you got to get the rights to use that later.
Right.
And so he had to create. That's why cigarettes were nails.
Okay. Now that shirt and tie you wore in there, was that something? Did he just say wear whatever and come in, or did he have a wardrobe for you? How did that work out?
He didn't have the wardrobe, but he suggested what he'd like us to come in wearing.
Okay.
And that's what he thought would work for. See, I was a handful of years older than most of those guys. I was in my late 20s. The rest of the cast, most of them, were in their earlier 20s. So I was already a little older. But he wanted the Chewlies Gum Guy to look a little older anyway. So hence the jacket, tie, the shirt, the tie, like a real businessman. And I didn't have the beard when I auditioned either. I grew the beard in between, and he said keep it. So when I auditioned, I was clean shaven.
Oh wow,
Nice.
Now hold on, what's it? Now do you have that? Do you still have the shirt and tie? Whatever happened to that? Do you know at all, or just lost over time?
That's a good question. No, I know I have the bag, and I just talked about this with the props people I saw recently. I know I have the bag that he pulls out somewhere, and I have the trach ring, but I can't honestly say I still have those clothes.
Okay. Okay.
Do you still get recognized for that role, or? I mean,
I don't necessarily ever get recognized randomly
Mm,
out in the world. It happened a couple of times back when the film was playing in the theater in New York, and I was hanging around New York a lot. But they recognized the voice before they recognized the face, believe it or not.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, of course, at conventions they know who we all are
Oh,
already.
yeah.
You know, but to get recognized just off the bat, no, that almost rarely never happens.
Now, was that a real fire extinguisher they popped at the end of it, or what?
No, that's just movie magic. He's holding a real fire extinguisher, but they're kind of like exploding baby powder.
Okay.
You know, you get the sound, and then there's a bunch of baby powder thrown around, and that's it. But it was too dangerous and crazy to really shoot the fire extinguisher.
Yeah, because I've back when I used to drink, I attacked some, or my friends attacked me with a fire extinguisher. Yeah, that dry carbon smell, or whatever the hell, it just never gets out of your mouth, man. It sticks with you for days. It's horrible.
No,
Never had that happen to me.
Now when they were filming it, were they really smoking? Was Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith really smoking weed out front, or was that just prop stuff?
no. Well, back then it's the opposite than it is now. Back then, Kevin didn't smoke or drink or do anything, and Jay was pretty much doing everything. Now Jay is clean and sober; he doesn't smoke or drink, and now Kevin smokes like a fiend. But back at the time, it was the opposite.
Which other cast? Oh, okay. So you still keep in touch? I think I kind of segues into what I was going to ask you. Which of the casts do you still keep in touch with? So you still keep in touch with Kevin, Jason, and all them?
Well, to say I keep in touch with Kevin and Jason wouldn't be true. I see them occasionally at conventions. You know, their careers took on a whole other trajectory. But Brian O'Halloran, Marilyn Gigliotti, Ernie O'Donnell, who played Rick Derris, those folks I talk to, I see more often. We will occasionally hop on the phone. And this is all thanks to the convention world, because the last 10 or 15 years, the convention world really brought us all back together again, which was nice.
Oh, yeah. That's
Was there any point that you guys realized the movie was, or at what point I should say, did you guys realize the movie became like a cult classic and took off kind of?
Well, that didn't really start to happen until the end of the 90s and the beginning of the 2000s. What happened was Kevin was beginning to build a huge following online. And back when the movie was made, and even when Mallrats was made, and right up into even Chasing Amy, the internet and online was not a big thing then. It was just beginning. So it was, people were renting it and talking about it, and it was getting some action. But it wasn't until the first View Askew websites and web boards, thanks to Ming Chen, began where the fans really started to gather in a big way and be online and connect. Once that started, he got in on the ground floor of that. He's one of the first directors to really harness his following through the online and through social media.
I remember that a little bit back then. I wasn't the hugest follower of Kevin Smith's website back then, but I definitely remember it exploding back in AOL, back in the chat rooms and all that. If you remember that back in the 90s, for sure.
Right.
That's why I first heard about Clerks.
Mm-hmm.
Now, was there any premiere when Clerks came out, or was it just kind of they showed at the film festivals and that was it?
No, there was. Unfortunately, I missed it because I was actually. It's a long, terrible story about alcohol and drugs, but I ended up in a intensive care unit in Pennsylvania the week before the premiere happened. I went off on my own party, and I used to go for days at a time on drinking and drug binges. So I ended up missing it. It was at the Angelica Film Center in New York City, which was exciting. I mean, I got to see the film play in the theater a few weeks after it opened, but I did miss the premiere. And then there were some other screenings. They premiered, I think, in California They might have had a premiere. It didn't play on a lot of theatrical screens ever, really. I mean, the success of the film is far more on VHS and DVD, and then in rehash houses. When it was first released, it didn't play that many theaters.
Oh yeah, it was only what a couple. I don't even $28,000 it cost them to make, and only like 32,000 the first weekend or something like that for sure. No,
Yeah,
that was
it was like 28 grand to make or something.
Yeah, that was what he was just talking about. Was segueing into what I was going to talk about next. Was talking about sobriety. I saw, my one post. I've been sober for about 2 years now, and I saw you've been sober since '06. Congrats a lot, and it's not hard. But what made you ultimately decide to just stop and just be sober now? Was just every day you couldn't deal with it? What happened there?
No, it's a long, involved, shitty story. I'll try to give you the basics. I probably spent at least 15 years, maybe even close to 20 years, really going hard at alcohol and a lot of hard drugs, heroin, crack, whatever I could get my hands on, and a lot of drinking, binging, a lot of years. I'd clean up a little bit, go back off bad, clean up a little bit, go back off bad. This continued on for years. And then finally in 2006, I had a really horrible bout of congestive heart failure. Bad. I almost died twice within 2 months. And then from that point, 2006 to around 2009, I literally was like a full-time heart patient. I was in and out of the heart wing every few weeks or months, and it was very touch and go. So literally there was no place for liquor or drugs in that window of time. And then around 2009, 2010, my heart started to bounce back, and I had a bunch of operations, and my heart was starting to stabilize. And I realized, wow, I haven't had a drink in like 3 years. This is amazing. But what was more amazing was I didn't miss it at all, which was really amazing. And since then, 14 years later, I just don't miss the alcohol, so I don't mess with alcohol. I haven't had a drink in 14 years. I haven't had any illicit drug in 14 years. I do have prescription drugs. I'm getting old. I've got pain. I get some pain medication. I get some anxiety medication, but it's all above board with the doctors.
Right, no doubt.
That's what it's been, Now that they just made weed legal
Yes.
in New Jersey, I may look into some edibles, but because of my heart, I probably wouldn't smoke. But I might look into some edibles.
Oh yeah, we got we're a very weed based show here. I got my medical card, so I got my little elbows here too and all that. But
you cooking up?
oh yeah, heck yeah, man. Now, what did you after Clerks? What did you do acting wise? Did you ever try out for The Sopranos when it came through town? Any of those episodes?
No, I was really, the drinking and the drugs were really primary for me. So I didn't really give my career the shot I should have. But I did a handful of indies that I'm very proud of, and that I worked with a lot of people that were pretty prominent. I did the movie Vulgar with Brian O'Halloran and a bunch of people from Clerks, which is the Brian Johnson film. If you ever get a chance to see Vulgar, see that, because it's crazy and you'd probably dig it. It's a crazy movie. Michael DiLorenzo, who was a big star at the time in the 90s on New York Undercover, he and I did a mobster movie together in 98. That didn't really get to come out properly. That was heartbreaking. But from the 2000s on, I worked with a lot of word-of-mouth independent filmmakers. And if you check my IMDb or check me on the Amazon, there's a bunch of stuff that, came out. It's lower budget, but I kept active, and I'm still active to the day. I even during quarantine, I had a couple films come out. I still do the music. I do a lot of indie film music now. So I'm fortunate. I've got a lot of irons in the fire, and it's a grassroots career, but it kept me going. I don't have dependents, so I don't have to worry. Sometimes it's feast, sometimes it's famine, but I get by okay.
Okay, good deal. Now, would you say that The Sopranos is maybe I was randomly everything I look up about you is all New Jersey. So I was thinking randomly, what's the most New Jersey thing that people think of? Would you say The Sopranos maybe is like if somebody says New Jersey, they think of that, or in your mind, if somebody says New Jersey, what is the first thing that comes to mind?
Well, I think it depends on the age of the people you ask. New Jersey is very famous for a lot of things over the years. If you go back a long time, Jersey gave us Sinatra. Sinatra's out of Hoboken. Sinatra and the Clam Broth House in New Jersey. He was big. You fast forward up a bunch of years. In the 70s and 80s, you had Springsteen and Bon Jovi. There's more Jersey. In the film world, Kevin's one of the bigger filmmakers to come out of New Jersey. But certainly in the 2000s, Jersey became synonymous with The Sopranos. But I think it depends on who you ask and their age.
Okay.
So are you into pop culture question? Are you into comic books? Kind of like Kevin Smith is. You follow comic books?
Kevin Smith's like obsessed with comic books.
Yeah.
Are you anything like that?
Comic Con and all that.
Was that just a him
Not
thing?
at all. Not at all. I mean, I liked the Christopher Nolan Batmans. I liked the Tim Burton Batmans. But only because I dug Batman growing up as a kid, not because I don't read comic books. I don't follow comic books. I got nothing against it because I'm now connected to a world that's very connected to comic books.
You are, yeah, that's true.
But it's not my thing. It was never my thing ever.
That's the same way I am. Well, I mean, I'm not the same way you are. Like, comic books are cool, but like, I don't collect them. I'm not like into comic book character debates and random stuff like that. Now, tell us about this, the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. How long were you on the set for that?
Not very long, but it was exciting because he brought a bunch of us back from the first movie in a way that I never thought would have been possible. If you're familiar with the movie, if you've seen the reboot, a good chunk of the ending takes place at a convention. And he dreamed it up that Jay and Bob would be running around this convention and kind of like, popping into the different panels. And there's a comic book men panel, and then there was a Clerks reunion panel. So that's how we got to do our cameo.
Nice.
And that was a lot of fun. That was, a bunch of days down in New Orleans, getting to see everybody again. But, that cameo is a visual gag. There's no lines. You just see us all. We're shocked. We turn to black and white. They turn to black and white. Jay and Bob, they go running out. It's just a fun visual gag.
Now, back to the black and white, I meant to ask this. Now, how did you guys start? How did Kevin decide to go with black and white? What was the was there any significance with that at all?
That was solely a financial thing.
That's okay. Okay, that was going to be my next.
Yeah, it was financial because color film was a lot more expensive. Developing color film was a lot more expensive, and lighting color film was a nightmare. So we just went with black and white.
Okay.
When you were at the Jay and Silent Bob reboot, did you get to meet any of the big celebs there, Affleck or any of those guys, or no?
No, I wasn't. We weren't around when Affleck was around, but we were around when Jason Biggs was around, and Vanderbeek, and Dieter. Trying to think, Brian Quinn, of course, the comic book men, but we're all buddies anyway. Those were the main people that were there the couple of days that I was shooting that I got to see. Oh God, I'm getting older now and names slip me, and I can't believe I'm gonna not be able to get his name correct while I'm thinking. Keith Coogan, he was there. We know him pretty well now. He was there. Same thing with Dieter. But it was fun, man. Just seeing everybody and hanging out in New Orleans,
Okay. Is there going to be a Clerks 3? And if so, are you going to be in it?
Oh, good. Two very good questions. He's been talking about a Clerks 3. He had a Clerks 3 a handful of years ago that went completely in the toilet, unfortunately. One of the main actors was not interested in coming back. He rewrote it in a different way, and ultimately he just killed it. He read it at a live event and he left it be. But because the reboot was such a success, and because the people who worked with him on the reboot are interested in working with him on other reboots, he's rebooting Mallrats. There's going to be a Mallrats 2.
Yes.
Nice.
There's probably going to be a Clerks 3. Again, I'm going to be the last guy to know that anyway. And we all have a good chance of popping in Clerks 3 if he goes with the newest premise for what his new Clerks 3 is.
Nice. Now, how are you dealing with COVID nowadays, and what are your plans for the future? Are there any other projects you're working on outside of the possible Clerks, Kevin Smith movies?
Well, I'm pretty fortunate. With COVID, I still got to work on a number of things this year. One thing just came out. It's called Jesus versus Satan: The Rise of the Zombies. It's on YouTube. You can go to any of my social media, you'll see links to it. But I got to shoot my scenes with my own gear while the director was on a Skype call with me. So he's in the room directing me. I'm shooting it with my own camera. It was really kind of pretty interesting and fun and exciting. So that got to be done and come out. I did a film with Dave Madison called Wits End, where we shot the scenes before COVID, but the film came out during COVID, and it did pretty well on Amazon overall. I also did the score to that film. And then I did a film called Darkness Waits, which is a horror film that was shot a few years back, but came out during COVID and is doing very well on Amazon as well. So I feel very fortunate that I still have things going even during COVID. Granted, it's a lot different than it was.
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
All of the conventions got killed. We had a bunch of really great conventions this year that got killed. But we're hoping for next year. We're hoping, it doesn't look that great right now because COVID's getting worse again. But we're hoping in the future everything changes and goes back to whatever the new normal is.
Outstanding. Well, we'd like to thank Mr. Scott Schiaffo for joining us today on the STD podcast. You have a great rest of your day, my friend, and you can follow him. He's on my Facebook friends list. He's on Twitter. I've seen he's on YouTube. He's on Instagram as well. And watch the Jay and Silent Bob reboot if you haven't seen it. It's a great movie. Appreciate it, brother.
Thank you.
Right. Thanks, guys. Be good, man.
All right, you too. Be safe. Thanks.
Thanks, my brother. All right, here, watch this for a second. I really gotta go to the bathroom, man. Really gotta go. So hold the show for a second. And talk about
All right.
what your topic.
I got it. Don't worry about it.
Carry the show for a second.
I will carry the show. You just do your thing.
Really just gotta pee.
All right, do what you gotta do.
Ask people.
All right, so that was Scott. They can't even let me do my thing and go pee. Thank you. So yeah, Scott Schiaffo from Clerks. One of the things so last year, the National Film Registry nominated Clerks was submitted into the National Film Registry for being culturally important in our pop culture. So that was a good thing. Excuse me?
The word we're looking for is society.
Society. What did I say?
Never mind.
Thank you. But anyhow, so that kind of goes to show what kind of following that movie had in terms of independence, and it kind of just that and Pulp Fiction, which came out the same year in 1994, in my opinion, kind of carried the cinematic independent tour de force that we have seen in the past 2 decades. Whether anybody cares about that opinion or not, there you have it. But yeah, we're gonna. It's gonna be some dead air really quick while I step away myself. Excuse me. Sorry, my phone keeps going off.
Right. Where'd that go? He just left the show. He just leaves the show. Sorry about that, guys. We have a guy who just leaves the show. I'm in charge of a show. He could just do the thing. Sorry about that, everyone. We are welcome back live with me here in the STD podcast. Pat will be joining us here soon.
Sorry.
So, what you guys think of Scott Schiaffo? Huh? It's freaking pretty raw. He's I reached out to him a while back in, man, it was a long time ago. Fuck, we're talking maybe May-ish.
No.
Is when I first hit him up, and he was like, "Oh, I don't really have anything going on right now to promote, but I do. I'll get some money." And I saw the movie coming out, or he had that movie thing and whatever. I was like, "Oh, let me hit him up." He was doing a lot of shit on Facebook. So I was like, "Okay." He had agreed to do it. He's a pretty good dude, man. I like New Jersey, man. I was going to talk about. He didn't really have too much time beyond a half hour, so we got a little bit extra time out of him there. But I was just talking about New Jersey. Like, you ever been to New Jersey, man? We went there. That part of New Jersey is a little boring, but
yeah,
we're beyond that world. Have you ever been to like the South Jersey, the shore part?
No, just the part where we were at. Now, when we near where they shot scenes of The Sopranos, we were pretty close, weren't we?
Yeah, we were.
Lyndhurst. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you look at New Jersey, I'll pull up a map here in New Jersey, so I'll show these guys what we're talking about. Let's see, new.
By the way, you walked away from the show too first, so.
Well, you just don't leave a live shot, though. I mean,
Why had I take a call?
You could have just said, "Hey, I'll call you back in 2 seconds," like literally. Like, what's the deal, homeboy? But let me bring up this New Jersey map. This is the Jersey World map. I'm about to share here, so hold on. Oh, what's up, Bob? How you doing, buddy? I saw you checked in earlier. I didn't. I saw out the corner of my eye. I didn't get a chance to holler. I don't know if he would have dug the barbecue rub. Let's see here. Share screen. Chrome tab. Where's Chrome tab? New Jersey map. There we go. Share. All right. Now we're looking at New Jersey here. You guys see this? So we're talking about New Jersey. The fuck's New Jersey map? Right in here is where New York City is. He's like right around here, kind of, where he was born, grew up. This area is where his habitation grows from where he lives now. Now, where they filmed Clerks was down here in Leonardo, New Jersey, right by the shore. Now, this whole area right in here is the Jersey Shore. If you ever been to New Jersey, way down here is like Atlantic City or some shit. This is way the fuck in nowhere. And where I was right in here, right in the middle of the state, really only like urban, not non-urban areas of the state. It was at Fort Dix. Well, it's McGuire Air Force Base is what it's called.
That's a nice name.
But well, now it's called. They had this back in 2010, 12. I don't know. I think it was under Obama, but they had this concept called joint basing. Mm-hmm. So now instead of Fort, there was 3 bases out there. There was the naval base, Lakenhurst, and then there was Fort Dix and McGuire Air Force Base. So now it's called Joint Base Dix McGuire Lakenhurst is the full name of the base. It's a long name for a base, dude. It's
a pretty long name.
Fuck.
Was there an anal base?
Anal base. There's the Marone Air Base in Spain. We call it Moron.
A naval base, an anal base, an areola base.
That's where when I first met Kim, she came out to New Jersey and see me.
Nice.
He wasn't even born yet.
Mm.
Wow, that was a long time ago, man. 08. Good deal.
08, IO.
Okay. So let's see. Stop screen. So what else is new with you, buddy? How was your week?
It was busy, man. Busy. A lot of holidays coming. A lot of hustling. A lot of picking up some OT because we're behind some stuff.
You guys smoked. Oh, nice. That's cool. Authorized OT. Are they expecting another shutdown or something? People were thinking that after the election.
Yeah, that was speculating, and so far it's not really COVID related. Why we're picking up extra hours is just to play catch up because we got being at working while I work, not as big as
the Jersey Boys. Damn it, I forgot about it. Well, actually, if I was gonna ask about the movie Jersey Girl, because that was another Kevin Smith movie. Did you ever see Jersey Girl?
With that was Ben Affleck and
J-Lo. She dies right at the beginning. Remember that?
Yeah, she
dies in childbirth.
Steven Tyler. Yeah, Steven Tyler's.
George Carlin's in it too.
Yeah, wasn't Steven Tyler? It's Liv Tyler.
Liv Tyler's in it. Liv Tyler's one
the girl. Yeah.
She's going to work for the video.
I've seen that. It's been a while, but yeah, I've seen it.
Remember from seeing Jersey Boys? I was going to ask about it if we had more time, but I didn't get to get a chance. He only told me they had about a half hour, so I switched it when I thought it would.
Did you see the Jay? I never seen the Jay and
I'm not
Silent
gonna lie,
Bob.
I haven't seen Jay Silent.
Yeah. I haven't seen that or Chasing Amy.
I tried to get just his scene on there. You've never seen Chasing Amy?
Never seen Chasing Amy.
I'll tell you what, Emily, if you're watching, make Pat watch Chasing Amy with you. It's a good movie to watch with the
Never
girls.
watched Chasing Amy either, but
And I guarantee she hasn't watched it. But that's a great movie to watch with a chick. That's an underrated romantic comedy. Is Chasing Amy? Dude.
Yeah, I've seen Mallrats though.
Mallrats is fucking great. He's coming out Mallrats too. I never knew that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's pretty sweet.
So inside info for those of you just joining us, which is nobody because everybody's been here from the beginning, but there's Mallrats 2 is coming out. Mallrats was sweet. That was Kevin Smith's second movie.
You know that and Pulp Fiction came out the same year. That was tour de force for independent movies. Oh, it was a great year. It saw Shawshank, Forrest Gump, Lion King.
I remember The Lion King because we had this party and my parents were out of town, and for some reason it got out of control, man. Like fucking 100 people showed up, and I don't know if the cops came and busted it or what, but man, I just dipped. I just ran, and I got on the bus. I was fucking lit. I was drunk.
Hey, this is your house?
Yeah, it's my parents' house.
You ran away from your what?
Well, I don't want fucking cops getting arrested. I don't want to get arrested. I just want to run. I was fucking drunk as hell. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I was fucking 17 years old, and so I got on the bus. I get on the 22. And I go all the way downtown. I'm fucking lit. I just get on the next bus, whatever bus I get on, whatever. I pass out on the bus. I'm going clear out to the east side. And at the time, I didn't know where I was at, but I just got off the bus. I ended up at the guy's like, oh, I was like, where should I get? He's like, you just got to get off. I was like, okay. So I just get off. I pass out in the fucking lawn of Randall Park Mall. Literally, I'm at Randall Park Mall. Mm-hmm. And then Emily said she won't do it. There's I was awoken by these teenagers. They're like, hey, is this guy a bum? Is this guy a bum? It's like, no, what's up? He's like, I was like, where am I? He's like, you're in a Park Mall. I was like, no shit. The only reason I bring this part up because you're talking about the Lion King, because I went into Randall Park Mall and I got some food because I was fucking starving, and I got a Whopper combo meal, and the Lion King was out at the time because you could get the lion size and you got the extra large pop with the fucking meal. That was a crazy story.
Wow.
Right? Tell Pat to groom. Yeah, Pat, we've been talking about this.
I will groom.
See how
I know.
No, look how I got it. Whatever you like to do, just take a one guard or two or one guard.
I appreciate the advice, but I didn't ask for it. I have my own system. Okay, when the time comes.
When it comes to facial hair, do what the girlfriend likes. Trust me.
I know. I will do what the girlfriend likes. I do what the girlfriend likes. I will look all pretty for my baby.
Chicks like dudes who are pretty, bro. They like that. They like the whatchamacallit, you know what I mean? They like the fashion sense.
I got fashion sense, man.
They like when you match, bro. They like when you match clothes.
I have nice clothes.
They like when you match, bro. Like you gotta get some socks or you gotta get the.
Yes, I know how I'm dressed right now, but I just threw some clothes on because I just came from work and I'm tired as shit, and I really don't care how I.
That's true. Hey, I'll tell you what. Thank you for showing up, bro. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah,
I wish you would sort of a little bit earlier than game time or anything. Like,
like I said, I just
beggars can't be choosers because at this time you're the only one who showed up.
Yeah, you just have to find something to nitpick. You can't just say thank you. Oh,
I did say thank you.
You say oh, great questions.
Did I not say thank you? And I said we did a good interview. That was a great interview. I like Scott Schiaffo. He's a hell of a nice guy, man. I can relate to people who were at one time partiers and are now sober. You know what I mean? That's because his system is spin too little. That's true. Mm-hmm. Good old Patty Ice. But the people who used to throw it out and just drink all the time, and they're now
losing your voice.
I feel like this is the game, man. Ever since we were at the Raiders game, because it was so fucking cold. Did we? Where'd you get that at? The handstand.
Oh.
I'll tell you where to get it at the dollar store. Just fucking literally
I have like 10 bottles. I have this one bottle. I just like have all these.
Yeah, but if you're out there, you're buying hand sanitizer. Don't go anywhere but the dollar store. It's all the same crap, and the dollar store has it for. I mean, you go to the fucking drug mart or not drug mart. It's not a good example, but I don't know. Say the Get-Go, and they'll have a bottle this big for $4, right? Don't do that. Go to the dollar store. It's the same shit. But the dollar store, they close early a lot. Because they just don't have staffing. Did you notice that? Like sometimes they'll close at 5.
Yeah, because there's a dollar store right by where I work, and it opens at it's open from like 10 Sometimes it closes at 5, but always opens. Doesn't open earlier than 10. And then I guess it all depends on what staff they have that day. Sometimes they'll close at 5. Sometimes they'll close at 6. Just all depends. But that was open at 10, I believe.
Does it shock anyone that Pat knows the exact hours to the dollar store? Any of our listeners? Does it shock them? No.
You're cheap too.
I am cheap, but I spend money on a lot of ridiculous stuff.
On ridiculous stuff that nobody, like that fucking Vespa that you only ride probably like one or two times.
What do you want me to do? It's cold outside.
Why did you even get it? Why didn't you wait till summer? Jesus.
Well, you wait then, and then the price goes up,
That's
bro.
true.
If we have another shutdown, then the price is going to go through the roof of those things, man.
You could have.
Those things never lose.
You could have spent money on insulation and stuff
I
in the
don't
studio.
get that shit. I mean, I had a quote, and it's a little bit. Not, we just didn't really come to terms. But yeah, Josh said he's going to come out here and help me out, which he will, because I've seen he was doing some work at his house, bro. Josh, if you're listening, thanks for coming out for last week.
You didn't even mention his name. You just said we have a special guest, and you never introduced him. I watched that. I went back again.
Well, last week?
Yeah. You just said we have a special guest. You never said his name. When Mayo comes, he's here all the time. You say, oh, Anthony Mayo's here. You never said his name.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't matter at this point. But, what we're going to end up doing, obviously, you can't see it here, but yeah, all back in here is going to be all insulation. We'll have, I'm going to get some neons and shit. The big TV is going to be way over there so we can see ourselves live and stuff. I mean, you can see the cord over there already in the background by that Nigerian flag. See that curly cord right there? That's HDMI, and that's going to go to the side of the computer, and then that's going to be over there by the TV because the HDMI comes over there. So once we get that mounted, but we got to get all that. We got to do that fast because it is going to start getting cold and shit. You know what I mean? So once we get that, then we can also mount that black light because we're going to have a black light show too for real.
Oh.
For real. You ever seen that video? If you guys ever out there have seen that video from the Black Eyed Peas, the one where Fergie's in the string became, I got a feeling, that one. Watch that video. There's a couple black light scenes in there. I'm going to do a whole show like that. We're going to just do a black light show.
I don't think anybody's ever seen a Black Eyed Peas commercial.
No, the Black Eyed Peas, the video, the music video for I've Got a Feeling. If you're once this show's over, watch the Black Eyed Peas, I've Got a Feeling video. For one, Fergie's pretty hot, and she's at peak Fergie, like 2008. Her fucking buns, her backside's really popping, and she's making out with the chick in the video too, so it's really hot. But just the whole vibe of the video is really cool, man. It's just a lot of good-looking people, and they fucking get loaded.
I got a good story about Fergie. So a few years ago, my buddy used to live in LA for work, and went out to visit him. We went to a Dodgers game. That game we went to, Fergie was throwing out the first pitch. Fergie, remember, she was married to Josh Duhamel. You know the actor Josh Duhamel. He was in the Transformers movies. That show Las Vegas with James Caan. I don't know.
Okay, I know.
Yeah. You even know if you're looking up. But they were throwing out the first pitch, and one guy we went with the game. My buddy's friend. I guess his someone he knew worked at the gift shop, so he was able to get he gave us access into the suite.
Okay. And
by that time, this is towards the end of the game. We were like 3 sheets to the wind, man. We were just, they had these really nice IPAs. They weren't that bad. They weren't that pricey. So we just kept drinking these IPAs, and we got really fucked up at the end. And we walk in, and we start walking around and we're just shouting, Fergie, where are you, Fergie? Josh, Fergie, Black Eyed Peas.
Oh, so you guys are just drunk yelling her name?
By that time, it was towards the end of the game, and she's probably gone by that time.
Oh, she did the anthem, though, right?
She did.
Did she throw the first pitch, too?
No, she didn't do the anthem. They just, I can't remember if it was her or Josh, but they came out and they had a kid, and they all went, play ball! But no, she never sang the...
Okay. What was the worst version of the anthem you've ever heard?
That I ever heard? And,
not live.
Live?
Yeah, just version of the anthem you've ever heard.
Probably going to have to be Roseanne, right? Even though she was kind of being...
She was being sarcastic.
Sarcastic,
So I don't know if that would be
but-
the worst for, I don't know.
Yeah, well, obviously it was done on purpose, but at the same time, you have some respect.
Yeah,
It was during
it's pretty much kind of just a total insult.
it was during a Super Bowl and
Fergie
shit.
was hot, man. Fergie had
Oh,
she had such a good ass.
speaking of Fergie,
An ass. I like her ass.
wasn't it Fergie that did? Who did the NBA All-Star game?
Does it stand for? Is that short for Ferguson? What's her first name?
I don't know. I gotta look it up.
It's like Ferguson McGillicuddy or some shit.
Ferguson Jenkins. No, that was it. No, but
I was
Look
looking
it
at
up.
Ferguson Jenkins on the show. He's too old. He's like,
I'm pretty sure it was Fergie actually. And Fergie, if you're listening somehow, I apologize for bashing you. She's not listening. But a few years, it was like 3 years ago. Remember, it was like a really infamous. Look it up. I want to say it was the 2017 or 2018 NBA All-Star game. And whoever did the sing the national anthem for that, really fucked it up. I gotta look back, but I remember I was
I can't
thinking.
remember what we're talking about, but vaguely, like 1%, 2% memory of this. I know. I remember the incident, but I can't remember.
I just remember it was just like I remember watching it live, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
I got a feeling. Yeah. That's such a good video. Have you never seen that video?
No, because
The whole premise of the video, imagine like this is an apartment or whatever, which is gonna be kind of like that soon. But in the whole video, they're just dancing around, drinking. It's a bunch of hot chicks and some random dudes and shit. But they're all just getting fucking lit, smoking weed and shit. Fergie's making out with the chick, dancing around in the club or dancing around.
she's making out with a chick.
Yeah, it's so hot, man. You gotta check it out, bro. After the show, if you're watching the show now, do not abandon the show. Okay, watch the rest of the show because we're talking about important shit here. Because
Don't abandon it like us.
right, don't just leave the show like we did earlier. But I'm just gonna have their empty camera. Thank you
Very
for sitting there
unprofessional.
for that 30 seconds when Pat was over there talking. I mean, if he was just gonna talk over there, he might as well stay on camera and talk because everyone can hear him.
I should have.
Should have made no sense.
I was a little nervous. You should have given me his. You should get. I don't know. Next time, let me know you're gonna do that before.
Well, I had to pee. I had to pee really bad, bro.
yeah.
Really, really, really bad.
I should have brought Nikki on with me.
Yeah, I think you should just been in the shot. She could just made fart noises for 10 minutes or some shit.
Yeah.
Fucking. So, what do you think about this? Do you think what's going to happen first? Like, are we going to have a rocket ship to Mars, or are they going to call us? What do you think?
You would think they would. Is this going into the weekend, man?
Well, I mean, it's got to. It's already Friday. I've wasted so much of my life. I'm thinking, okay, can you just call this?
I mean, and then
call this and his sister.
And it's just so wherever you go. So I've been following on Google. Google is saying he's 6 electoral votes away, and then you go on remember I messaged you yesterday. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? They're saying he's at 253. So at some places they haven't called Arizona.
AP, which Yahoo News pulls from, and Fox News called
Arizona.
So that puts them at 264.
But then
which if
some other
you do
places.
that, then any of the states, Nevada, North Carolina, Georgia, or Pennsylvania, all put them over. So like the other, Fox News actually retracted it. I heard. I haven't checked the numbers. If you're out there and you got some updated numbers, let me know. Or if anything's been called, let me know too. For sure, I'll report it. But yeah, the numbers just are so fucking stagnant. It's like, come on, man, you guys. I mean, the problem. This shows that one, we need obviously election reform goes without saying we need, but we need you just need a standardized system to count these ballots. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Mm.
Like, fund this shit. You've got people most of the time. A lot of times they're volunteers. If people put so much energy as they would to be like ballot watchers and shit like that into supporting funding for proper election research to find out what the best methods are and stuff like that. It was just so much easier instead of what are you going to sit there and watch ballots? How bored are you if you're in life, you're just sitting there watching ballots all day? Like, really? That's what you're going to do? Like, come on, man. Quit wasting anybody's fucking time.
Yeah, no shit.
Fuck yeah, dude. So what else is going on, brother?
Just working, getting ready for the holidays. How are your holidays looking? You just doing just you and your family?
I don't even know. Because, fuck, everybody's dead and I don't really talk to the rest of them, so.
Oh, gotcha.
I'll probably just
Awkward.
No, that's fine.
No.
It's a legit topic.
I was just saying, it's like.
I don't know. I honestly don't know because I've never really been through holidays like this. I mean, we got the baby out in Elyria, so we'll probably do that. Probably, that baby's in so much fucking crap.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
This baby's 2 months old. The baby, Thomas James. Thomas James or Tony James? What the baby's name is? I don't really.
You don't know your grandson's name.
I think it's Tony.
God damn.
It might be Tony.
Jesus.
If you're out there, you know my grandson's name. Tell me. So I think it's Tony.
Oh, Kim's not listening. Get Kim in here.
Watches the show. She watched wrestling on Friday. Boy.
Oh my God. Is Nikki here? Nikki. Oh, she ain't here.
I think it's Tony. Tony Jones. I should get Tony Jones on the show. Remember him in the Browns?
Yeah, I know.
Felix Wright said he was going to do the show. He never messaged me the second message though.
Yeah. So you doing? You babysitting? You and Kim do some babysitting?
No, I sit down in Elyria. I never get to see the guy.
You drive? You can't drive to Elyria? I drive. Even I drive to Elyria.
Well, Killhead brings him in to work. She works at a daycare, so she just brings him into work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good there.
It's convenient.
Did you watch the Anthony Schlegel show?
Oh, bits and pieces of it.
You didn't watch it.
Bits and pieces of it.
Watch it at all.
I thought it was pretty good.
It was a great interview.
I will.
He was talking about fucking hog hunting and shit. That was so funny. He said he had an interview, or his interview for a job with Ohio State strength coach was he had to go hog hunting with the one guy.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine having a job interview for a fucking giant eagle for that? All right. You're going to go out there and work in the meat department, but your first job is you got to take this knife and go hog hunting with pet bulls.
Me and Mike, so Mike Cruz goes hog hunting before he starts his shift. That's how he.
We've been hog hunting before, but it's a different kind of hog.
I get it.
Hello. Where's Mayo?
Mayo. Hold the Mayo. Hey, you want to go to Mayo show? Let's go to Mayo show.
Yeah, what's his name? Hernan said he wanted to go out there.
I'm gonna go. Me and the lady.
If you haven't subscribed before, you gotta click on the bell and subscribe on the bell part. The bell part lets you notify when we go live, which is obviously every Friday 9:30. But there's special shows sometimes. Like last Monday, I did the show with Angie Schlegel, and then fucking last Tuesday I had the election special where I just sat here, you guys watch me update the totals.
I was wondering if I could talk a little bit.
What's up?
Thanks for cutting me off. No, I was gonna say me and the lady friend are gonna see the Mayo.
Mayo Clinic?
The Mayo.
Me
and the girl, Fran, me and the Bay.
Mixtape Mayo.
Mixtape. What's up with this mixtape? Where does this come from?
It hasn't dropped yet. This mixtape's so
an
hot.
actual mixtape?
It's an allegory, man. It's hyperbole. It's not an actual mixtape. It's just a joke. It's a running joke. Everything is this mixtape's so hot that you can't even touch it. Like you can't even be in a room with it. It's so pulsating and hot. But it's just anytime there's an explosion or a fire or anything like that, you're supposed to tag Mayo on it and say, "Yep, it looks like your mixtape was over here," because it's funny. Eventually his nickname will be Mixtape.
I'm gonna. So in his entourage, and he's famous. There's probably only one room for a token white guy, and I got dibs.
You're gonna have to be like the background white guy. I gotta be the talent. Now, have you ever seen? No, the ever D12. Look up the rapper Bizarre.
Bizarre.
Yeah, if we were D12, because I think D12 had 6 people. If we had D12, obviously I'm Eminem because I'm the fucking best ever. Now you would be Royce the 5'9" because you're 5'9". Now,
I want to be Marshall Mathers, motherfucker.
Now fucking Mayo would be Bizarre.
That's the only one I know.
It looks like Bizarre.
I don't even know that one.
And then I think Proof died, right? If you're out there, you know about D12. What happened to Proof? Isn't he the one who died? One of them died.
D12 only had that one song that I know, that blue and yellow, purple hills. Purple hills.
Bizarre is funny as fuck. We should get him on the show.
I'm
gonna look him up on IMDb. It's just Bizarre on IMDb. He was in. Wasn't he in fucking 8 Mile, the movie?
I've never seen 8 Mile.
Never seen 8 Mile.
I've never seen 8 Mile.
Let me go on IMDb Pro real quick. I missed an email because Yahoo. I signed up for IMDb Pro using my Yahoo, and I missed an email to where I could have got like a whole year of for really cheap, and I'm still paying this monthly bullshit. I really got to pay attention, bro, because I need it for a year. I am the B. All right. I can also check my star rating, see where I'm at. I was plummeting, dude. I was down like 600,000. Yeah, look at that, 668,174. That's just sad. For example, Scott, who we just talked to, was like 64,000, something like that. I mean, it's fucking crazy how plummeting I am. What was I just talking about? I was going to look up.
Seriously, that's your You're not wearing a shirt?
I'm wearing a hoodie.
Underneath.
Yeah, that's my hair. My body hair.
Why? Why are you looking at
Hey,
that?
what was I talking about tomorrow? I was getting an IMDb for? Oh, I was looking at Bizarre. That's right. Hold on. 8.
Why are you on IMDb? You didn't do anything.
No, I was going to look up.
No, IMDb Pro. Why do you have a profile?
Because I'm a fucking superstar. Obviously, bro. Shit. All right, Eminem, Kim Basinger. Is it Basinger or Basinger?
Basinger. I believe it was Basinger.
We can't interview her because she's dead. Brittany Murphy.
Oh, Brittany Murphy. Yeah,
she died in 09. What's up with that? There's a lot of conspiracies about that. Man. You think Brittany Murphy killed herself, or you think it was really the aneurysm or whatever? Or do you think she was poisoned by the Russians? What do you think?
Why her?
There was a lot of conspiracies about it, man. You never heard those conspiracies about fucking Brittany Murphy, bro?
No.
Look them up when you get home,
She
man.
did drugs.
Brittany Murphy wasn't she in Clueless too?
Yeah, she's that. You ever see Don't Say a Word?
I am not.
I think that's what it's called with Michael Douglas. They had that. She goes, I never tell. He's trying to find his wife, and then she's like this mental patient, and she holds the key to where he can find his wife.
You remember that movie where
pretty good.
Where
I think it's called
Leonardo DiCaprio was on this island, and it was really a mental institution, but they didn't find out till the end.
Yeah, it was. You just gave it away.
What was that?
Shutter Island.
Yeah, it was
Scorsese. Yeah, he was.
That movie was like 20 years old.
He was a mental patient the whole time. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's like the usual suspects. If you don't know by now what the
you get a good 6-month window.
Like that.
In my opinion,
yeah.
If you haven't watched the movie by the time 6 months come out, come on, man.
I mean, what is the window? Yeah, seriously, what is the window? Like with Sixth Sense. I mean,
right.
The movie is 20 years old, and if you don't know by now that Bruce Willis was dead throughout, for the whole huge portion of that movie, then that's on you. That's on you for being mad.
Did you know that? Have you ever seen the movie The Dark Knight? Did you know that Heath Ledger died after they made the movie? Like, he just died right after the movie. They're like, and we're clear, and he just fucking died right there.
Yeah, that's
like the set, bro. It was literally he was just standing there. And we're like, all right, everybody, that's a wrap. And they did, those big things they got in Hollywood. They go, I guess, slate, and it makes that click noise. They said as soon as that click noise, he usually like, he just died right there. I just made that up. I can't make that up, but that'd be cool, though, wouldn't it?
It was one of the Bruce Lee. Was it Bruce Lee or Brandon Lee got?
I'll tell you what, though, that was Brandon Lee, The Crow, 94. Yeah. That was a good movie too. You ever seen The Crow?
That was a great movie. Love that movie.
But on the what was he talking about before that?
That was 94 as well.
But before The Crow, what was he talking about? I mean, you sidetracked me and I fucking forgot. That was very important.
Yeah, on me, man. It's on you.
No, we was talking about movies.
Speaking of like soundtracks and whatnot, so Crow had a good soundtrack, STP, and we didn't get into the soundtrack. I thought about that after we left.
The Rage Against the Machine song on the Crow soundtrack, we kill them all.
Yeah,
take their land and go there for vacation. But
the soundtrack on Clerks is a legit. I believe Allison Chains is on that, and Allison Chains is on that.
That movie was the ultimate. It's kind of cool we got to talk to him because, like, if you think about like what we do is kind of similar style, independent. We finance all ourselves and shit like that. Obviously, we don't have film and all that, but I mean, YouTube is. He was talking about. I loved when he was talking about the public access TV and all that because that was back then. That was the inspiration for the Wayne's World sketch, which is the ultimate inspiration for this show. You know what I mean?
I'm a big fan of movies that catch that time period, like what Fast Times at Ridgemont High did. That's what Clerks did.
Oh yeah.
Clerks captured the angst, the teenage angst that was going on. Young adult.
The she-male porn.
Yeah. What's your favorite scene from Clerks?
Favorite scene from Clerks, boy. Definitely not the dancing scene. I'll tell you what, the scene when he's the berserker scene, making fuck. Love to use like making fuck berserker.
What about when he's
easily, but it's just so funny. I looked at the guy. He's like Olaf singing.
Remember the dead guy boner scene?
Oh yeah. Fucking she
thought she was fucking Dante. There was a dead guy in the back. he had an erection the whole time.
She passed out and went to his bed.
Yeah.
Fucking dead guy. And the 37 dicks in a row is so fucking funny too. My girlfriend just sucked 37 dicks in a row.
Yeah, 37. Yeah, he was having. That was a good movie. And it was funny. His character, he's having like the worst fucking day. Like he wasn't supposed to be there.
Right,
You know, he was on his day off. I like when.
Yeah, because he got called his day off. Everything that happened bad, including the Chewlies Gum scene and everything else, was fucking just because it all happened on his day off.
Or what about when he lipped that beer, and then the guy he happened to be like a fitness expert or whatever, and he was giving him a hard time because of the way he kind of breathed heavy, I guess, when he. And like a hot chick was there.
Sitting right there,
about
his fitness.
Yeah. That was.
I like, you know the egg guy? Like you can't say anything. And there was this guy counting the eggs in the fucking egg basket.
Right. It was like a kid that was. What was that kid? There was like a little kid knocking shit over and shit. What was he doing?
Oh yeah, the little spoiled kid.
Yeah.
Well, the kid. Remember the 5-year-old that bought cigarettes?
Yes, that's what it was. Yeah, the little girl. You saw the kids. Yeah, you see the girl smoking up.
Due to the extreme young nature of the child, the fine just told me it'd be like a $250 fine. It took like all his work pay for the day and then some, because he wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, it's funny.
The thing is that science said, make change, be honest, and just left all the money on the table.
But that's a '90s fucking time capsule, you know.
Well, they put it in the Library of Congress, bro.
They did that last year, enshrined. They won the popular vote, like the public can vote in.
Now, do you think the internet could ever go down, like all around the world, like the whole internet? I don't think it's possible, right? Because it's decentralized. Like there's no internet island where the whole internet's stored, right? Like servers are all across the place.
Could have a blackout. Why couldn't we have a blackout?
You can't just destroy the whole internet. And the internet's bigger than any one nation, any one man, any one continent.
Oh,
it spans everything. It's like
terrorists.
The internet's like the air, dude. It's like the fucking air we breathe.
You don't think there's a terrorist group out there right now that's plotting that?
Not with 128 or 256-bit encryption there, not, sir. No, not at all. I think within our lifetimes we will see internet voting. I think internet. Think how easy.
Surprised we're not seeing it now.
Right? Think how cool internet voting would be. You're sitting there, all right, election day, and it's real time. The votes come in. Well, they couldn't do it real time because that would influence voting. But like, as soon as Ohio clicks, you see what the results are right at fucking 7 o'clock because it's all on the internet.
But how can they police that where you only do
iris skins? Everybody's unique iris skin. You see it in front of a camera like this.
What skin?
Iris skin.
Oh.
You have a special login. You fucking sit there, scans your iris. You click on the votes, and the vote, so it's secure. Well, and Tom, if Tom's watching, he'll agree with this. We talk about this all the time in the group chat. If you could do banking by internet, if you could do, this better, you can easily do voting by internet. Man. It's totally doable. Well, it's a waste of time that we're not doing that. Actually, that's probably going to be one of my things about when I can really. When I run for mayor, if I can even really influence that, but I'll definitely bring that up.
What's the timetable of Tom's return?
Tom, if you're watching, what are you looking to come back?
Coming back, Tom?
Yeah, he has like talking about his person. Well, he has a bundle. I don't know if you can see where I'm holding, but like one of those babies, what I'm talking about? He has a little one, and he's I don't like talking about too much because like we have a lot of female listeners. And I don't want to jeopardize his marriage because he's like the super husband and stuff. He is. He's a lot of kids. He's
not the prettiest looking guy.
He is a very sexy bitch.
Okay, in terms of handsomeness,
shit.
Who's the most handsome guy on the show?
Emily said no yawning. Well, I'm obviously the fucking bread and butter.
What did Emily say?
She said no yawning, please, Patrick.
I'm not yawning.
With my jawline, I'm obviously the handsomest guy.
No, it's me, man.
If we're talking about all six, including 2 alternates. It's me 1, Tom 2, Mayo 3, you 4, Dennis 5, and then
I'm not. No.
You're better than Dennis and Don, the D's.
How can you say no offense to Mayo? How can you say
Mayo is a sexy beast, and he has game. He has game. Dude.
Okay,
it's not all about everything. First thing is your jawline. First off, you have no jawline. Secondly,
I have a jawline.
It's about how you talk to people. You have no game, bro.
I have game. I
I heard Emily asked you out.
No, she did not.
Because you were too afraid to approach.
No, I did not. Don't be a dick.
That's what I made up. That's what I heard. I made up. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if it's true. That's how you do it. You just say something.
I am very charming and I got charisma.
You're like, right now, you're like a 4. You can be like a 6 if you fucking trim your beard up.
I'm not a 4. I'm definitely not a 4.
Show your jawline.
I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. The time's right. I know what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, with this guy, man.
I'm doing what I'm doing. Where's Don at?
I
Cover your thing. Don't cough in the computer.
don't know where Don's at, bro.
Did you even include Don in this
Yeah, that's
scale? No, on the scale.
I don't have a scale that goes that big.
No, that scale. The hotness scale is. Oh, you're saying I'm hotter than him.
I said. Didn't I say he was? Yeah, he was last.
Who's number one?
Me, of course.
No.
And then Tom, and then
Tom,
and then Mayo, and then you,
Tom's
and
got
then Dennis, and then
Tom's got like pubes on his face for a beard. He doesn't have a manly beard like me.
But Tom is a good father, bro. Chicks
He is.
Shit.
He is.
Shit, bro. They love the nurturing crap, bro.
He is. He's a fantastic father.
You know that chicks love nurturing stuff, bro. They love nurturers.
He's a fantastic.
They like guys who are in touch with their feelings, but they're manly at the same time. It's a hard concept to grasp, man. But you gotta like fucking go back and forth between the two realms, dude. You can't always be in touch with your feelings, or else you'll be on the corner crying all day. But you can't always be manly, or else you're just gonna be punching people and shit.
Why isn't Don here?
Because he's too fat to fit through the
Don, why aren't you here? Why don't you come anymore, man? Jesus.
I got stuck in that fucking freight elevator. Goddamn cow. No, I'm just kidding, man. I love you, Don. But yeah, for real though, why does he just not do the show anymore, or what? What the
Seriously.
fuck? Like,
is he even listening? Don, where are you?
Right. Oh, we got 3 viewers.
Don!
We lost him. We were talking about Don. That's how fat he is. Or maybe Don is in the show.
Maybe if he did the show from the Golden Corral, then he would show up.
Right, we use the Golden Corral's
Right,
Wi-Fi from the parking lot. Just set up shop.
Y'all about to hit this truck and find y'all.
Don will be in the background. Emily says I miss Don. Don is cool. He's a cool dude. He
is a cool dude.
I don't know. He went off in a different realm, man.
Dude, it's been a while since the original.
Realm, bro. There's rumors of. I don't even want to talk about the rumors of the twisted stuff, bro. Like satanic pentagram shit, bro. And fucking Charlie Brown marathons. I don't know what the hell he's doing out there today, bro. I know he's not here. That's all I fucking know.
He's in love.
Don's your favorite? That's cool. That's cool. Everybody has their favorite cast member. My favorite cast member is me. Because, I mean, look at this jawline. Let's be honest. That's fucking stellar. Goddamn stellar. I bring the cheese on this show, dude. Fucking cheese. So, upcoming guests, man. We got maybe Felix Wright is if he messaged me back on the gram. Is it Instagram or Twitter? One of the two.
Is how he confirms.
Who else? God damn it. There's a big name guest, but I gotta wait for him to get back on that's gonna cost me some money, but it's pretty really big. I'll tell you in a little bit.
Okay.
Obviously the mayoral campaign's coming up. January 1st, I think I can get the forms and file or start collecting the signatures.
Is this an announcement that you should make?
No, I've already dropped a lot of the hints online we talked about last week, and I talked about it in the political show. I'll have a whole release video and everything. I need to find out. There's this Pantera song I want to get the rights to, but I don't know how much it's going to cost me, so we'll see.
You're really doing this, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to talk other people to do it too, bro, because you could be. Because one of my campaign slogans is going to be Vorell for mayor. We take your feelings into consideration, or, we care about your feelings, something like that. You remember the Trump ones where it said Trump 2020, fuck your feelings? We're not going to get that. We're going to get the opposite of that, what Trump said.
But what if the current mayor, I don't want to say any names, what if the current mayor runs again? Aren't you guys in the same party?
I'm a libertarian, bro.
Oh, you're a libertarian?
Everyone is a libertarian. That's the beauty of this, too, is that, if you notice, my plan worked perfectly. I called it as it was, and I thought Biden was going to take Ohio. We'll admit that the polls were wrong, stuff like that. But my plan did work perfectly. Biden is more likely going to win. And I got to vote for George Jorgensen. Plus, I got to meet Spike Cohen and I interviewed him. If you watch the go on the channel, which you haven't subscribed in a while, subscribe again if you're watching from a new phone. Okay, like if you got a Samsung Galaxy S20, something like that, or an iPhone 12, one of those new phones, subscribe again if you got a new YouTube account.
So how does local politics work? Like how often is there a mayoral
I don't know, man.
race?
Well, mayoral elections every 4 years.
Okay.
The next one's next year.
Okay.
So what I got to do is I had set him, but there was this guy, this bald dude, he looked like the Big Show of his name was Dan Ram, or Ram, something like that, D-R-A-H-M, and he was running for council. And he barely lost. It was like 49-51, something like that, real close. And I asked him how many signatures you need to get on the ballot for council. He said 25. So I was like, I'm thinking it's like 50. I haven't really looked up. It can't be no more than 100 to get on the ballot.
Okay.
So you get that and just fucking have fun with it, man. The hope is that a lot of the shit goes viral. I get some funny T-shirt opportunities out of it. Get some stuff for the show, et cetera, et cetera. But I have to win. If you do win, fine. But back to the libertarian thing. You know, I interviewed Spike Cohen on the interview before the thing, or before the election and all that. And I could get easily the national libertarian endorsements if I go right off the rip as a libertarian. If I get Justin Amash, if I get Spike Cohen, Ron Paul, fucking Joe Jorgensen, all to endorse me, you know, it's a Nutline national pub, you know what I mean? Fuck it. Emily said, no, you aren't, bro. She said, that's why Don's her favorite.
Tired, man.
Bathtub Don Shear, bro.
We all can't work from home.
And why can't you? You get a robot that looks like you, and you sit at home with the controls.
How do you know this
That'd be way
isn't?
too much work. It was easier to go work.
How do you know this isn't a robot that looks like me?
Because
That looks like me.
Your robot that looks like you
That looks like me.
wouldn't have your fucking hair really shaved or some comb.
The hair
You
was.
gotta get this guy a comb, man. Get him a comb.
I comb my fucking hair, okay? You are not my goddamn dad.
He wants a Kangol hat for his birthday. They're like $80.
Don't listen to him that way.
$80, bro. Those hats are expensive. You like this Crew's about the same hat I do. Right after we both buy him every year. He gets the jersey too, but I like this one, man. The fucking subdued Browns hat, and the "We Are the World" fucking ribbon on the back. A portion of the proceeds go to fucking some guy who's sitting in fucking gutter some shit. I love it. So, what are your plans for this weekend, bro?
I gotta work. I'm OT, man. I'm working all week. I don't know when my next off day. I got a vacation next week.
It's a bye week this week. It's Sunday.
I know.
It's like some boring.
So might as well, you know.
Veterans Day's coming up, man. The 11th.
Yeah.
I might. I think I might head up to Michigan that day. I don't know. But yeah, because you know the dispensary's gonna have some specials and shit. But
Yeah,
I wonder if they can work the fucking meals this year. I guess probably the same as they do every year.
yeah, but I'm
Olive Garden will have a free meal.
where for Thanksgiving?
For
Oh, really? Okay. But yeah, I got vacation coming up. The week after is the week before Thanksgiving. So.
You know who Nick Swisher is? Do you remember Nick Swisher?
Oh yeah.
You should remember how you had a contract with the shaving company. You should do that. That way they could get you a free grooming kit, and you could fucking trim that line that
Why
hair
are
up.
we on this again?
Because Emily really wants it. And we all want
I
it.
will, Emily. I will, Joseph.
I'm gonna touch you from here.
Don't touch me, man.
Back needs to go. All go for the rest of your life. Don't ever have nothing on your neck. There's a reason we make fun of neck beards. Because it looks ridiculous. You do that and then take a 1 or 2
Get rid of
from
the-
here.
Get rid of the neck beard.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She would love that, bro. I'm telling you, right here, everything from here back, boom, and then just take a fucking thing and grow this back in here too. It looks silly. Trust me.
You don't even grow a beard. You don't even grow a beard.
This is perfect right here. This is perfect.
Everybody
in
worry
America
about, okay. You
This
worry.
is what you want. I mean, I'm just telling you what the girl wants. Bro.
Okay.
She's a nice girl, and that's what she
Okay.
wants.
This is a lot why I get mad at you assholes, because
We're trying to
you
help.
give me. I don't ask for advice. I don't ask for advice.
Well, do you want to make Emily happy or not?
I would like to make Emily happy. I don't care about
I want
making you
you to do
happy.
these basic things.
I will do.
These basic
I care what
things
Emily
she wants.
thinks. I don't care what you think. I will.
She thinks the same things, bro.
Okay, we will talk about Emily. When I want advice,
Okay, that's fine. We'll talk.
I'll ask.
Girl X. We'll call Girl X. Girl X thinks these same things too, bro.
Girl X. Who's Girl X?
Girl X is Emily for purposes
Yes,
of
okay.
hypothetical.
Well, we already said her name like 10 times. So
Well, I mean, if somebody's just tuning in now, and they don't know we're talking about Emily, they think we're talking about Girl X.
okay.
So for purposes of hypothetical, Emily is Girl X. Now, Girl X likes when you trim it up.
I agree. I've been lazy. I will work on that. I never said I would not.
All right, then why you getting all snooty about what Girl X thinks about your fucking joke?
I don't. Hey, Emily, I don't.
You just said it pisses you off to know
It
why.
pisses me
It pisses
off.
you off to the ends of the
It
earth. You wanna
pisses
kill-
me off
You want to kill a village?
when you're giving me advice I'm not even asking for. You're just like going off. You're not my goddamn dad.
I'm the closest thing to a dad you got right now.
That's not true.
Yeah, because
That is not
I'm
true.
older than you.
Like by 3 or 4 years.
I could easily. You would love me as a dad.
Let's bring in your kids.
If you're out there, if you think I would be a better dad for Pat than what he has. Now, I'm not saying Pat's dad's a fine dad. We're not messing with Pat's dad, but I'm saying
Yeah, come on.
Pat could probably use 2 dads. Another
I
father
don't.
figure in his life because obviously with
Okay, let's just say older brother. Okay,
there you go.
I never had an older brother.
An older, straighter, less bisexual brother.
Mm.
Let's go with that. Let's go with that, bro.
I have 3 older brothers apparently.
How many brothers? You got 2 brothers, right?
I have 1 brother. I have a brother and a sister.
You got brothers, and brother. And do you have a brother-in-law and a sister-in-law?
That's correct. Yes.
So both of them are married, and you're the last one to not get married.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, if you were to get married, where would you get married in like Hawaii, or would you do a destination wedding, or like did you get married here in Cleveland?
I would. I mean, I just want
to go to Vegas, bro.
I want to do. I want a big ass, not big ass wedding, but I would like a nice wedding with all my family and friends around me. I'm sure Emily would like the girl X would like the same thing.
Yeah, girl X says she wants a fucking big Vegas wedding with the big bachelor party, bro. Well, I mean, here's the thing with the bachelor party situation is that, I mean, we're going to have bachelor parties whether you like it or not. We're going to have a series of parties just because we like any excuse to party because that's just how we roll, man. We're fucking partiers. Fuck yeah. 45-inch strippers, bro. Little Filipino bitches with the fucking A-cups. Yeah, we're one of them where you cut their heads off. I'm kidding. We're not decapitating strippers at fucking Pat's unauthorized bachelor party.
We're not doing strippers. Don't worry, honey. No strippers.
We probably actually won't have strippers because I don't really feel like paying that kind of money. I know her not going to.
That's fine.
Maybe gay strippers just to fuck with Pat. Next on the main stage, we have chocolate. Fucking, he puts his ass right in fucking Pat's face. And he farts and Pat dies. Oh my god. My wedding was the wedding or my bachelor party. The wedding was at St. Ignatius of Antioch Church out there on West Boulevard in Lorraine. And then we had the bachelor or the reception was at the Union Hall, the UAW Hall in Parma. We just got a bunch of beer and food and Mr. Chicken, and then everybody got drunk. And
what year did you get married?
2009.
And Hernan was your best man.
Yeah, Hernan was my best man in the wedding. I was the bachelor party was at the Platinum Horse.
I wish I knew you guys.
Was the Platinum Horse or the Silver Horse? Maybe it was the Silver Horse.
I wish I knew you guys back then, man.
It was a Silver Horse. Maybe it was Platinum Horse. No, it was the Silver Horse.
I wish I knew you guys back then.
Where were you working? Were you 09? Were you Giant Eagle or no?
I was at Giant Eagle in 09.
Oh, you should.
I didn't meet Hernan until 2011 when he got transferred to the store I worked at.
Yeah, that is a good dude. Yeah, it was at the Silver Horse over there in Brook Park Road. And I had this ball. My buddy Mike Killer, he watches sometimes. I don't know if he's watching now or not. But he got me this ball, this bowling ball, and he wrote Kim on it. And it had a chain, and I had to tie it to my ankle, but I couldn't just walk with it and drag because it was too big. So I had to lean over and carry it like one step at a time, like move it like this.
Why were you wearing this?
It was because it was my bachelor party.
Oh, ball and chain.
Ball and chain, so like that. Actually, there were like 3 people have used that for other parties now. It's just a random bowling. I don't even know where. Last time I think D had it. I don't know what the fuck he went after that.
Did you have a big wedding?
Yeah, it was pretty decent big. But we were talking about the bachelor party. But it was up in Silver Horse, and it was me, Sidoti, Hernan was up there, Jason Burrow, rest in peace, was up there. I think Bobby was up there.
No one knows who these are.
Yeah, well, these guys watch the show. Everybody knows my buddy. And then the one stripper had big titties, but they put me up on stage and they did a little thing and all that. It was okay. But you guys about the big wedding. We had five people was in each side, like 5 groomsmen, 5 bridesmaids. It was bronze colors. If you look on my Facebook, it's under the Vorell wedding. It's on there.
Yeah, I've seen that.
But yeah, and then we got some cash from. Then I don't know if there was any gifts. I don't think anybody brought. That's one thing. If you're out there, you're gonna get married. I wouldn't put too much shit into the registry because nobody ever looks at the registry. They just give you cash because they're lazy. So I wouldn't even fuck with the registry if you're about to get married or have a baby. That's just my personal opinion.
Did you ever watch How I Met Your Mother?
I've seen that.
And there was the one character's from Cleveland, and he went to Cleveland to be he went to a wedding in Cleveland to be his friend's best man, and his wedding was a Cleveland Browns themed wedding, and there was like brown shit everywhere.
Oh, nice! I gotta watch that. I haven't seen that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And they'll throw in like little Easter eggs that you wouldn't get. I don't know if there's. I wonder if there's like writers on the show from Cleveland because they'll throw in like Easter eggs that you wouldn't get if you weren't from Cleveland, like his friend went to visit him one time. He goes, "Hey, do you guys get Big Chuck and Little John out here?
Nice.
Like you wouldn't get that anywhere else." So I got a little chuckle out of that.
I remember when Drew Carey did that with the one episode. He had Mike White and Bernie Kosar and stuff.
Yeah.
Emily was asking about how did she approve the Brown Orange? That's a funny story on that. Originally, we were going to go with Wine and Gold because that was the cast colors. I wanted some kind of Cleveland theme on it. And then we had Tops had a Christmas, back then it was Tops. They had a Christmas party, and she got loaded. This is the last time she drank. Or she got drunk at least. She's drank since then, but she's never got drunk since then.
Who, Kim?
Kim, yeah. So up at the Tops Christmas party, and she got drunk as hell. And she just kissed me, and she looked at me, she goes, brown and orange. And she was like telling me she loved me and all that stuff. And that's what she agreed about, the brown and orange, when she was drunk. And that was the last time she got drunk.
You know,
2007.
You know, she was drunk when she said she loves.
7. 8?
Yeah.
No, 7. Yeah, it was 7. That was before we moved in together. All right. That's about all the time we got left for episode 74 of the Square Table Degenerates podcast. I'd like to thank Scott Schiaffo for coming out.
Thank you.
From Clerks, obviously, check out Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. It's on it's one of the services, who knows.
And check out Clerks, even if it's like the 500th time.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Clerks and want to watch it.
And even if you haven't seen it, what is wrong with you? It is a great movie. It is in the National Film Register.
Right,
for crying out loud.
Clerks for real. See that fucking
It
movie.
is-
It's a great movie.
It
really is.
It is mentioned in the same breath as Gone with the Wind, Casablanca, The Godfather. So watch the fucking movie.
And I mean, even just go on YouTube and check out Scott Sheen. Just type in Chewlies Gum Guy on YouTube, Clerks, and it'll come up. It's a funny fucking scene. It's a great movie. Check it out. Check out him. Follow him on Twitter and all that crap, like, how you do with all the people you're supposed to do on the show. Thanks for Pat for coming out, buddy. Appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
Next week is Friday the 13th, so I don't know what we're going to have out yet. I don't know if anybody's getting the show. I'm hoping I got one big guest I'm working on, and then a couple other on the side who haven't returned, like the final email. You know how that goes with people committing to shit. But other than that, man, thanks for watching, like, and subscribe. Pat, take us home, buddy.
Every Friday night from 9:30 to 11, the folks here at the Square Table Degenerates podcast invite you to get infected.
All right, boys. We'll see you next week. Love you guys.
Bye.